Well, good morning, or afternoon, or evening, whatever it may be. We're going to talk about something that has just started to take place here in Klamath County, Siskiyou County, and it is the largest undertaking in history. So let's watch something funny before we get into something really serious.
There are 12,000 major dams in the West. A few are beginning to come out.
Love that little bobblehead. But you notice local news was in there. So, where do we start on this one?
Again, a News Watch 12 update. Water is flowing at the Klamath River where it had been dammed. This week, workers blasted a dam plug at J.C. Boyle Dam. It's one of 4 dams getting removed from the Klamath River. The Tuesday blast opened the dam for flowing water in northern Siskiyou County. The dam's removal effort is the largest dam removal project in world history.
Well, I've got some clips we're going to sort of pepper in here. And the Klamath River is over 400 miles long. It starts where I live, and it ends in Northern California at the beach. Dumps there. And it is, a really cool river. A lot of fishing done on it. And the largest dam removal project in history.
Dam, Copco number 1 dam, and J.C. Boyle Dam. And removing these dams will open up how many miles of the river? We expect to reconnect 400 miles of historic salmon spawning grounds and rearing habitat.
What is the effects of this? And what is the future outlook of the river? Why was this? Why is this even being done? And what is the effect now? So there's a lot of things that need to be answered.
Great question. Fish passage. The number one goal of this project is fish passage.
And some of us, we're going to miss some of this. Yeah, there are several reservoirs that are gone now. And as you see these news clips and these excerpts from local news, it's going to take quite a while. And to be honest, it's speculation. Because what's going to happen is, what is happening is it's the largest project in world history here locally.
In the meantime, native seeds will be planted, which should return the landscape to the world of a century ago.
And then we'll see fish in the river. We will see salmon and steelhead in a river where they haven't been in over 100 years.
Interesting. There are some that are very upset about this. There are some that are very excited, as you can see, about this. And I would like to know your opinion about this. One opinion is that these dams have been here for an extremely long time. Ecosystems have been created within these areas that didn't exist before. So you sort of have the thought of right of existence in ecosystems. The first one has the right over the second one. Or the second one that we've had for the last 70, 80 years doesn't have a right, so it has to go away. I remember one time I was over at one of these lakes, and a herd of wild horses. You'll see it on my channel. I was camping and doing some fishing. Herd of wild horses. I've never seen wild horses before. Came down to the lake, and were drinking and playing. The babies, the colts were playing and stuff like that. So it was beautiful. ecosystems now that exist will be eliminated. Right to existence. The original or the current. Either way, one disappeared for another, and one's going to disappear for another. So you're probably going to have your strong opinions on that. If you have homes in these areas, of course, you've got really strong opinion, and nobody wants to own your home, because it's going to be a dust bowl for a while, for a decade, and you're going to have to hike down to the river. So you're facing just economical disadvantage for sure, and I don't envy you. I really don't. So I would be upset if it was my home. No doubt. And anybody that doesn't say they wouldn't be upset if it was your home was theirs, is a liar. So you would be. Now, whether you agree with the project or not, you'd still be upset because you don't have waterfront anymore. So even if you agreed with the project. So this is actually...
Just imagine how the Yurok feel.
It makes me emotional because that is our livelihood. That's how we lived, is fishing. And once everything is restored, then we have a healthy river, we have healthy fish runs, and then this means that my kids can fish and their kids can fish because there's going to be enough fish in the river.
You might think it's nuts that in a state that is so often susceptible to drought that we're pulling out 4 dams, but those dams, they weren't for agriculture, they weren't for drinking water, they were just for hydroelectricity, and the utility that runs them had the choice of either installing fish ladders, hugely expensive, hundreds of millions of dollars, or essentially just walking away and saying, well, we don't want to do this anymore. It's only 2% of our hydroelectricity. We can make that up with wind and solar. And so they said, you want the dams, they're yours. So they're taking the dams out. Salmon fishery will be restored. People living around the lake, kind of out of luck. The 4 dams will be out in just over a year. It will take a decade to restore the area to what it looked like before they went in, beginning a century ago.
These dams are being blown up, and the recent one is J.C. Boyle, the one most farthest up river. This is the last one of them that has been removed this week. And somebody on one of the forums asked, where do we bass and crappie fish? Well, we do have Lake of the Woods. And much better bass, although not as good as crappie. Although it's about the same. And so it's if you want a good crappie lake, locally, you go to Emigrants if it has water. And we're in a drought. The Klamath River gets its water from the Upper Klamath, which is right outside my house. And it's the start of the Klamath River. And for years, decade, more water has flown out of Upper Klamath than has flowed into it. So a person may ask, where's the water coming from? To keep that river going and to reestablish the salmon and the steelhead. So it'll be interesting. Tell me what you think below. And I hope you enjoy these little clips and to see what, it's going to have a lot of opinions down here. And please, be nice. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. And we all respect each other's opinion. Whether you agree with it or not, it's just the way it is. We have no choice in this. It is happening. The dams are removed. And we want to, we're outdoorsmen. So in the end, we're going to respect the river. We'll fish the river. We'll enjoy the river in the end. But it is very controversial here locally. The largest dam removal in world history is well underway. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. And let's look at my funny outro again.